Well, Poco's at it again. They got another fancy new phone. This time it's the POCO F4. And this one's an interesting one. Pretty premium because it's got a Snapdragon 870. It's got a 6.67-inch, 120 hertz refresh rate screen. 1080p, full HD plus, 900 nits brightness. That's pretty good for POCO. Plus, you've got a 4,500 milliamp battery and a 67 watt charger that comes inside the box for super fast charging. There's a lot more stuff we're going to unpack in this video, which hopefully will be pretty exciting. So let's go ahead and take this sucker out of the box. Guys over at POCO spared no expense on this one. Again, Snapdragon 870, 5G. It's got liquid cooling technology 2.0, 120 hertz refresh rate, 64 megapixel primary camera. This is a far cry from the early days of POCO, just less than probably 2 years ago. They're making some serious stuff now. This is a true flagship caliber phone. Snapdragon 870's got a lot of power. SIM ejector tool in there, and some of the cool things in here we love POCO for, not the documentation, but we do have a USB dongle in here so you can plug in some earbuds or headphones, screen protector in the box, and it comes with a case, which is something that we always appreciate because we can keep our phone protected straight out of the box. You know, it's kind of difficult to get accessories for these things after the fact, so I really appreciate that they put this in here, and it's just a regular pliable clear TPU case, which is fine. Kind of interesting here with the camera bump. I'm anxious to see what this one looks like once we take it out of the packaging here. So here we go, a little bit more on the front. 120 hertz, 6.67 AMOLED dot display, 360 hertz touch sampling. So that's good to help register your fingers whenever you're playing games. This is a true gaming phone right here. 64 megapixel camera, optical image stabilization, 20 megapixel front facing, and then you get that 67 watt turbocharging. That's a lot. And I actually am kind of digging the way this looks. It's got almost like a gray tiger eye obsidian kind of look to it. This is one premium looking phone, very kind of rounded and flat at the same time around the edges. The back is very flat. I know it's got Gorilla Glass 5 on the front, which is really nice. I'm actually not a big fan of Victus because it gets a lot of those micro abrasions. The surface density is not quite there when it comes to those, even though they're less resistant to shattering. This is a very, very premium feeling phone for sure. I like the way that this one looks. Over here on the right hand side, we got the volume rocker, the power button. Nothing on the left hand side, nice and clean. On the bottom, we got our SIM tray, USB-C. We got our downward firing speaker. And one thing I've been enjoying doing lately, whenever I do these unboxing videos, is to go ahead and take the SIM tray out so you can have a look at it. All right, make sure whenever you do this, you use the hole on the left, not the one on the right. That's a microphone port opening. This is the one for the SIM ejector. Now this one right here is actually not the greatest SIM ejector tool in the world. It's kind of flimsy, honestly, and it's very long. So here we go. So SIM tray, dual SIM, which is nice. You can put 2 different SIM cards in here. It's GSM unlocked, 5G, all that jazz. You can see there's a little rubber seal around here, so that should help out with the waterproofing, which is also a nicety. There we go. Just wanted to show that off. No SD card this go around. That's something that looks like they're jumping on the bandwagon too, at least for this model. We got our USB Type A to Type C cable, so you can charge it quick, fast, in a hurry with that. And then we have the charging brick. Now this is going to be for international. This is not a phone that's sold in the US, so that's one of the things. They send them to me over here. I like the POCO phones. I like showing them off for you guys, but I have no use for these chargers. Honestly, I probably got like 30 of them. I could probably do a giveaway if it wouldn't cost me $1 million to send it overseas. So 67 watt charging brick, that'll get you recharged quick, fast, and in a hurry. But lots of great stuff going on here. HDR10 plus screen, that's really nice. Dolby Vision, 20:9 ratio, full HD plus. Go ahead and power this one on. You can see the little POCO thing there. Weighs 195 grams, which is actually a pretty good weight. It feels premium, but at the same time, it's not overly heavy like the iPhone. Comes in different colors, Moonlight Silver, Night Black, Nebula Green. This is the Moonlight Silver, and I got to say, I am in love with the way this phone looks. And then on the... got a little jingle there. 64 megapixel primary camera with optical image stabilization. That's a big one. And then you got 8 megapixel ultra wide and a 2 megapixel macro, so you can do your up close and personal National Geographic shots. I like this LED light stack, the way they have this here for the flash. That looks pretty cool. and then 20 megapixel front facing camera. Again, inside liquid cooled technology 2.0 with a large vapor chamber, and that helps transport that heat away from the processor so you can play games, record your videos, don't have to worry about it overheating. Got MIUI 13 here, which is based off of Android 12, so covered there. Android 13 will be out later on this year whenever it gets launched by Google this fall. So pretty neat. Another interesting thing with this phone, it's also got the speakers up top, but you've got an IR blaster there as well, and it's got NFC so you can do your wireless contactless payments, which is pretty cool. This is a really sharp looking phone. I like the way that this looks. Let's go ahead and put the case on real quick just so you can get a feel for that. Also, even though it's kind of a glossy, shiny back, it's not really picking up a whole lot of fingerprints, so this looks like probably going to hold up pretty well, even if you don't want to carry it with the case on it. So that's actually really, really surprising, and it looks good with the case on here as well. So let me go ahead and get this set up, and then we'll come back and talk more about the phone. All right, here's the POCO F4. I got it set up, and I guess you can see here, there's some fingerprints that are showing up, but honestly, it's not that bad compared to some other more glossy phones. Again, to avoid that, you can definitely put the case on there. This right here, pretty cool camera setup. I haven't seen one like this before. Big plate, vertical stack, and then the 3 cameras, the primary, the ultra wide, and the macro. No telephoto here. Not surprising though, a lot of times when you get these POCO phones and a lot of Chinese phones, they'll opt for a macro lens instead of a telephoto. Not really sure why that is. 5G, and then I'm using it on T-Mobile. I'm not getting 5G on T-Mobile, but I am getting LTE, so you can see here, turn off the Wi-Fi, and ta-da, I'm getting LTE. So full LTE on T-Mobile, so you can use it here in the States if you want. Metro by T-Mobile, you can use it on T-Mobile, you can use it on Mint Mobile. That's probably going to be about it. Now, the phone is nice. I'm actually really impressed with the screen here. It's got nice, deep, rich colors, good contrast, good blacks on here. Overall, it looks like a pretty sharp panel. The brightness isn't turned all the way up. Of course, you don't want to because it'll kind of wash out on the screen, but I'm kind of digging this. And then you've got the fingerprint sensor built into the power button over on the side, which I'm actually a fan of. I like when they do that. So pretty neat. Plenty of tests there. A little wary of fingerprint sensors, especially after how everything's gone with the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro this last year. Also has facial recognition unlocking technology, so I'll unlock it over here. And my face is, of course, way over here off the screen, but it's pretty neat. It unlocks super, super, super fast, so that's a nice thing too. And you can see you got this little dot cut out for the little circle dot cut out for the 20 megapixel camera on the front. This right here, I feel like it's pretty nice. It's pretty minimalistic, I think. It's not a big notch. It's not a cutout, not a teardrop. It's not over here. I like the way that's set up. Now let's go ahead and see what it looks like whenever taking a selfie picture. And I don't want any of that stuff on. No, you cannot have access to my location. Camera looks pretty good in tandem with the screen here. So that's pretty nice. This will be one I definitely want to go take outside and test that out and really see how the camera works out with this one. Pretty fast shutter speed, nice and responsive. Let's see what these images look like here. And they actually look better on the screen here than they do than what you're seeing here just because of the brightness on the screen. But overall, some pretty darn good sharpness on here. I gotta say, this is probably the most impressive selfie camera that I've seen so far whenever it comes to a POCO phone. This is pretty neat. I'm actually liking this, so very, very cool there. This is going to be a great phone for gaming, for doing pretty much anything. I love it's got the 120 hertz refresh rate, so that means when you swipe back and forth, you scroll through your Twitter, Instagram feed, it is smooth as butter. And then, for those of you who care about more specs, this has UFS 3.1 storage, so it's going to install and download things, transfer stuff really fast. And then on addition to that, LDDR5. So you'll be able to play games medium-high when it comes to Genshin Impact with this, and you can play Call of Duty, PUBG, you'll be able to play Apex. The Snapdragon 870 is no slouch. 3.2 gigahertz prime core speed. That sucker is going to be blazing fast. And there should be some pretty decent power savings compared to the 888 and also the Snapdragon 8 Generation 1. So pretty darn neat there whenever it comes to this phone. A lot of nice stuff. And then the stereo speakers, they got you covered in pretty much every area. I'm really liking the way this phone looks and handles. Nice flat screen. Some people don't like the curved edge. This one's a nice flat screen, so you get a nice wide display, good wide body screen ratio there. And yeah, I gotta say, this is probably the most impressive build design on one of their phones yet. I really like this a lot. All right, that pretty much wraps it up for the unboxing first impressions on the POCO F4. Big 6.67-inch display. I'm in love with this screen. I think it looks good, bright, responsive, 900 nits. That's a big one for POCO. It may be one of their brightest screens yet they've had in a phone. Also, for some more geek statistics, we've got Wi-Fi 6. So you're going to get blazing fast speeds there if you've got a Wi-Fi 6 network. Bluetooth 5.2, great for listening to your tunes. Connect it with your wireless audio devices. You got 2 different storage configurations, 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage, or 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. No SD card support, not crazy about that, but that's almost an extinct thing nowadays in 2022. Other than that, I'm impressed with it. I wish I could tell you what the price is. It really irks me the way POCO does this. They send me the information, like I get the specs, I get all that crazy stuff and the advertising material, but they wait until the launch to tell people what the price is. And I'm like, well, I'm not reviewing a phone if I don't know what the price is, because I can't tell you, okay, well, is this a good deal? Is it not a good deal? Is this worth spending your money on? For what I've seen, it looks like it's probably going to cost about $500, kind of on the upper end for a POCO phone. A lot of people probably are not going to want to spend that, but I do have to say, from what I've seen here, Snapdragon 870 with also kind of like some more RAM. I wish it had 8 gigabytes baseline. I don't even feel like it needs 12. If they just had an 8 and 128 and 8 and 256, I feel like they probably did that stratification just to do an upcharge to the 256 storage model. Whatever. Anything you run is probably going to run pretty much the same with 6 gigs or 8. And yeah, I'm actually really impressed just taking these few samples on the camera in here. The screen and the camera combination looks great. I'm looking forward to going out and testing this one out and see how it goes. If y'all guys like it, if you're really happy with it, and then I'll go ahead and do a full review. Y'all let me know. Right now, I just plan on doing an unboxing, first impressions, show this off, because this isn't a phone that you can buy here in the US. You can buy it maybe through AliExpress or some other way and get it imported, or maybe off of eBay. The POCO phones are pretty neat. They've got a rich heritage, especially going back to the POCO F1 and F2. Made some amazing devices, especially in the last year or two since they separated from Xiaomi. They're their own entity now. And I like the stuff that they do. I'm glad they send this out for me to test out and show off for you guys, because it's a little bit different flavor. It's not just Google, it's not just Samsung, it's not just Apple. I like to get my hands on and check these out a little bit. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you're interested in this, and we'll see. Y'all let me know if you want to see a full review on it, and we'll come back and check on that later. But so far so good. I like it. I'm impressed with it, and I think you probably will be too. So thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please go down in the comments section. I will get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.